Shalom. Bump my head. So every one of these logos on my shirt are associated to brands that I help create. But those that know me know that I'm also a minister. And so it's hard to let people know that I separate the two. Of course, I'm involved with both in all that I'm doing. That just is what it is. But the thing is, the ministry is not about my brands. Ministry is not about me. The ministry is about Yah. And with that being the case, sometimes I have to emphasize that, what I'm doing and what I consider business, it may not always succeed. But the move of Yah, if it's truly a move of Yah, it's going to succeed. Sometimes I see people or see things start and they're labeled moves of Yah, but then I don't see any fruit in the end. Looks fruitful in the beginning, but in the end, it's dismantled, and then the brand moves on to the next situation. And I'm like, some people just don't get it. It's all about marketing. This is marketing. Businesses do it all the time, and that's something that should happen in business, but that's not what ministry is supposed to be about. The one who is ministering should be moving off of what Yah has directed them to do, and it should not be a marketing plan. It should not be something that's deemed as building a business. But ministry is very profitable. Has been in Christianity, and now I'm an Israelite. It's still profitable. One Vision Ministry is what I call a ministry, but as you see, I don't put it out there trying to ask for any money. I don't put it out there for profit. I just minister. And of course, I have not gained any allies. Most of the time I've gained more resent, and people deem me to be insensitive, or as I move in my lane and do what I'm supposed to do, I lose more than I gain. But the thing is, Yah always shows me and tells me that if you lose it, you never had it in the first place. Now, when it comes to business, my business has struggled because of the ministry. But the first thing in my home, the first thing is ministry. Then my marriage, and business comes after that. So if the business suffers, so be it. I'm going to speak what thus says 𝐤𝐄𝐄 to me, even if it's uncomfortable to some, and I lose relationships. Some things is not for me to speak on at the time, but eventually, if it ever is, I'm going to speak on it. But it's sad that building a brand has become more of the means of ministry. When those 12 gates open up in the kingdom, it's not going to have any of these brands or any of these assembly names on it. You're being connected to an assembly is not going to help, and it shouldn't hinder, but it might, if your loyalty is to that brand more so than it is to Israel. If you've actually separated yourself from somebody because they weren't linked to your brand. If that's what you're doing, you're dividing and you're conquering negatively the kingdom. You're not building the kingdom, you're building a brand. And that's dangerous. Yep, I want to build these brands, but not at the sacrifice of the kingdom. Not at the sacrifice of ministry. Ministry, then my family, over this business, over this brands. Shalom.